Meeting is now streaming live on YouTube, is what I'm getting on my computer. So I will call the meeting to order. It is 6 o'clock. Welcome everybody to our third council meeting on Zoom. Hope everybody is handling themselves well during this COVID-19 epidemic. We are going to go, or I'm going to remind everyone to please disclose of any pecuniary interests at the appropriate time. And just remind you that it is being live streamed on Warwick's YouTube link, which is also on the agenda today. We'll go right to 4A, which is the minutes of the previous council meeting. How does council want to deal with it? We are going to go. Councillor Mitchell, do you want to move those? Seconded by Councillor Morris. Any questions, errors, or omissions on those minutes? Seeing none, all in favor for receiving and filing those? That is carried. Thank you. No business arising from the previous meetings, so we'll go to scheduled meetings and events. We can see all of those coming up. We do have a Public Works meeting coming up on Wednesday at 3 o'clock. I believe through Zoom as well, and we'll have that on the YouTube channel as well, Amanda?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. There is, the AMO conference has gone virtual this year, as I'm sure all of council is aware. I did notice in the one correspondence that I received that we will be able to do delegations through AMO. So I think I will keep my registration. At least we should have at least one of us registered for that. And I will commit the couple of days to sitting in on the meetings and stuff. Anybody else who's interested in doing that is welcome to, I believe, Amanda, but it's not going to be in Ottawa this year, and I believe it is a reduced registration fee. And everybody can let staff know what their plans are for AMO. Correct, Amanda? I'm looking to you just.
Yes, correct. Yes, thank you, Mayor Rumboats. We have had a couple members of council who were planning to attend cancel their registration. But we are waiting to hear actually on yourself and one other. So we will work with everyone to make sure their registration information is up to date.
Okay. I believe they are still doing the Ministers Forum. It's just going to be in a much different way of doing it, probably over Zoom. So it will be, like everything else, interesting to see how that works out. Okay. Oh, that was a staff item. Sorry, Amanda. Didn't mean to skip.
That's all right. You beat me to it.
Okay. So if there's no other questions about meetings or events coming up, we can go right to councillors' commitments. Does anybody have any commitments to add to the list? We're not going too far right now, but okay. And so we'll go around. Jerry, do you have anything for councillors' items today? Don't forget to press your space bar when you need to talk.
Sorry about the only thing I had. I attended a Zoom meeting with the Conservation Authority, and they've had complaints about the biosolids too. So they are starting to look into it and are going to talk to the ministry about it. That's
great to hear. That's good.
Where are they getting those complaints, Jerry? In other townships, you know?
In other townships right now, yes.
Yeah, because is that St. Clair or a Sauble?
I'm only sit on the St. Clair, and it's St. Clair.
It's St. Clair, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I know I had one inquiry about that, if we had contacted the Conservation Authority, and I had informed them that we did in the past, but that we would be talking to them about it going forward as well. So that's good to hear that they are on top of it.
Yeah, we had quite a discussion about it last Thursday.
Okay, good. Todd White, do you have anything? Councillor White?
No.
Okay. Councillor Morris?
Just one thing. I'm wondering if council would like to think about for a little bit during this meeting about extending our taxes till the end of June. Our people aren't back to work. The businesses are not open yet.
You're referring to extending the forgiveness of interest on taxes that were due at the end of May?
Yes, I don't know what the rest of the municipalities are doing. Maybe Trevor would have a little input on this. And I don't know, maybe nobody's taken advantage of this. I don't know, but just a thought.
Trevor, do you want to speak to that?
It was going to be something I was going to address later on. We're working with partners, the county, the Board of Education, and even Blue Water Power to see whether or not I'm going to have the authority to make that decision afterwards. I think it's a good avenue to go to, and there aren't very many people taking advantage of it, but those that it can help, I think it's a good offer to extend.
Should we?
Do we need direction, Amanda, from council to, or some kind of an emotion to have Trevor continue working on that? So wait, Councillor Morris, you'd like to make a motion that we?
I'd like to make a motion that we extend the interest penalty free to the end of June for taxes. I'm not so much
Okay.
worried about the water, but the taxes I think are very important. The hog farmers are and not doing too good right now either. So I think it will help out our community.
Okay, do we have a seconder to that motion? Councillor White, any other discussion on that? Seeing none, all in favor? And that's carried. So we'll have Trevor continue working on that. Thank you for bringing that up, Councillor Morris. And Councillor Mitchell, do you have anything for councillors' items?
Not this time.
Okay, great. Thank you. We did touch on the verbal update from Amanda. Did you want to add anything to that, Amanda?
No, actually, Mayor Rembouts, I think you covered it for me. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, I forgot myself. I just had one thing that I wanted to mention. The Ministry of Environment is determining tomorrow, May 12th, as the Ontario Day of Action on Litter. And our friend Andrea Canajan is one of the MPPs who's spearheading this. So we will be doing some online information about that. Teresa, do you mind speaking to that a little bit? You're muted.
Sorry, Mayor Rembouts, can you repeat yourself?
Just speaking to the Ontario Day of Action.
Oh, yes. So starting tomorrow, May 12th, the Ontario Day of Action, it's, as I understand, annually, the second Tuesday of May. And it's based on waste reduction through reuse, redirection, and I apologize, I forget the third item.
That's okay.
And so we're participating in their campaign, predominantly through social media, they have a toolkit, and we'll be posting starting tomorrow for 10 days, not the weekends or the holiday Monday, postings for residents on our township Facebook page, as well as the website, and we've got that all set up to start tomorrow. So you'll be seeing little notices about statistics and ways that you can reduce what you put in garbage, as well as how you can handle waste from COVID-19. So disposal of gloves, masks, that type of items. So that starts tomorrow.
Great, that's awesome. And when I spoke to Andrea Canajan about this, originally we were hoping that it could be more of a community event where the community gets out and picks up litter and things like that, get the scouts involved. because of COVID-19, we had to change, or they had to change the parameters around it. So, but they didn't want to not have it on this day. I think it's an annual event that they're hoping to have happen. So we're wanting to support them in that, especially being a community with waste management, such a large part of our community. Any diversion of waste is always a good thing. So
May I add one thing?
yes, please.
So along with that, as you said, as an event, so Community Cleanup Day, so they're not running one at this time because of COVID-19, and the recommendation is, or thoughts or ideas that they put out is during National Waste Reduction Week in October. However, through the Parks and Rec Committee, we've already had a discussion on a Community Cleanup Day, and we're working on planning for 2021. So we're going to continue with that plan and build it into the schedule for possibly this time of year next year.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Teresa. That's great. And that's all I had today. So we are going to go to the accounts. Trevor, did you want to say anything about the GL summary?
They're up till the end of April. I was hoping to get the April tonnage fees from Waste Management, but I couldn't. So we're still outstanding that. And once they come through, I'll send an email in to update everyone. But the numbers look good. You will also see later on, there's a cash flow that ties into it. And this is the information that is generated from that and from the budget. And it's going to be something I'll probably quarterly update so that it keeps everyone involved as much as possible.
That's great. Thank you, Trevor. So we do need a motion to receive and file the GL report. Moved by Councillor White, seconded by Councillor Mitchell. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Now, we had quite an extensive non-action correspondence list again this meeting. So does anybody want to touch on any of the non-action correspondence today? Councillor Morris.
I make a motion to receive and file.
Okay, thank you. And Councillor Mitchell, you're seconding that?
One second.
Okay, thank you. And seeing no discussion, we'll take the vote to receive and file. That's carried. Thank you. And we'll go on to the action correspondence. Now, the City of Hamilton letter requests to regulate and enforce the odor and lighting nuisances related to the cultivation of cannabis plants. Did we already pass that, Amanda? You're muted, sorry.
To my knowledge, no, we have not passed a support resolution for that.
Okay, Councillor White, did you want
I'll move to support that.
Okay, and Councillor Morris?
I second the motion.
Okay, any discussion on that? All in favor? That's carried. Okay, and then there was the resolution to support regarding community gardens, garden centers, nurseries, and as essential services. I think the province has already determined that, so
Yeah.
we'll kind of leave that for today. And then the resolution regarding high-speed internet connectivity in rural Ontario.
I'll support that.
Councillor White?
I
Okay,
move that we support it. Yeah.
okay,
Second that.
thank you. Any discussion on that? Just so, can we update Amanda on what's happening with SWIFT? I don't know if council has ever been updated on the SWIFT project and that we were.
I believe we can, yes. Mayor
I think it was
Rumbus,
announced, yeah,
would you like me to do that, or did you want?
that would be great if you don't mind.
Sure. So I can bring a more fulsome report to council on this. I'll start this update with that. But through the County of Lambton and the SWIFT project, which is looking at rural broadband connections throughout the province, Warwick Township has been eligible for some upgrades through that program to the southern portion of our boundary on Churchill Line adjacent to Brook Alvinston. So there will be some internet infrastructure improvements made in that area, which will be funded through the County of Lambton and the SWIFT initiative itself, and will help, the more infrastructure you have, the easier it is for our providers to dovetail off using that. But I will make a note to bring a written notice to council for our future meeting.
Thank you. Yes, Councillor White.
Is there other areas in the township that they're looking at as well?
In the
So
county, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're right. You're right, Mayor Rumbets. In the county, there are many areas that they're looking at, and there, I believe we are we were the 5th project in the county that was funded through this program, and actually our project was ranked 5th, and because there was surplus funding for the other 4, we were able to acquire some of the funding that was remaining, kind of the same pocket of money. So there are certainly more areas for improvement, but I believe that this 5th stage, the project that we have had approved to move forward, is the last stage of the existing funding envelope.
Yeah. And county council supported that being added onto it. So it was a really good win for us and for Brook Alvinston. So. And good for all of Lambton County. Councillor Westgate.
But to answer Todd's question, no, that was the only place on the map where it was going to be in Warwick Township.
Okay, because there are other areas.
Thank you.
Yes, I know, but they were not covered on the map that they expanded.
Okay.
Under SWIFT, yeah.
Under SWIFT, okay.
So, and it's actually going to be a great project for the county because it kind of covers a lot of different areas in the county. So it's a good news story for us. So, all right. Did we vote on that? I believe we did.
I believe we just need to receive and file the remainder of the action correspondence, Mayor Bamba.
Thank you. Councillor Morris and Councillor Westgate, all in favor? That's carried. Thank you. So we will go down to staff reports. We still have about 10 minutes before our delegations start. So we'll start with the current municipal service levels and COVID-19 impacts. Another great report, Amanda. That was fantastic to be able to see any changes that are happening. Does council have any questions about that report? Is there anything you'd like to highlight, Amanda? Oh, sorry, Councillor White.
I don't know if it was here. I think it was in here at the bottom, or maybe it was a later report, the revenue impacts. If Trevor's going to highlight that a little more. I just noticed that, just to talk about where that is, like I think it's at the bottom. It is in this report. The costs of the different aspects. I know we're doing that as well in our business. And then the revenue impact at the bottom of 100,000 thus far, or by this time to be estimated over 100,000. I was just wondering if you could comment on that.
Until everything's settled, we really don't know, but this is off the top of our head, and there's a lot of people who threw out ideas and everything was coming. I think we've been proactive in terms of we could have gone the safe route and laid off a bunch of staff also and taken advantage of that. Council chose not to, and it's really helped impact the lives of those families that would have been affected. Until it comes down, a lot of it right now is PPE, but there's also a lot of meetings that have been going on that are going to get added to it. There's going to be more PPE added afterwards, especially the new normal is going to be different. The Karcher Mister might be one of 2 or 3 machines that we're going to finish up buying at the end. Might finish up having one for each one of the locations. It's just we don't know what the standard is going to be coming out of it, and we'll just keep updating this as we go.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you, Trevor. Just to add to that, Councillor White. So Trevor is constantly monitoring impacts And you're right, there is another related report to cash flows on this agenda. But this will be a regular update that you can expect to see moving forward on all operations reports. So as costs change, as we incur more expenses, and as we delve into some of the lost revenue numbers, this will continue to be updated. So council has a full picture, recognizing it will not be perfect, until the dust all settles, but that it'll be updated as the process moves on.
Okay, was there anything else you wanted to highlight in that report, Amanda?
I would only just like to say that I think both our staff and our community continue to do a very good job. Our staff has been flexible and adaptable to all changes and really proactive about response. And the community members that we've been in touch with about altered services have been absolutely supportive and willing to work with us on alternate ways to answer their inquiries. So I think we're running really positively, and I'm very pleased.
I agree with Amanda. It's been going surprisingly well considering what has been thrown at us. So we really appreciate staff's efforts led by Amanda. She's doing a fantastic job. So we just need a motion to receive and file that report. Moved by Councillor Westgate, seconded by Councillor Mitchell. All in favor? That's carried. We have time to go to B, which is the proposed newsletter content. Council's had an opportunity to read that over. Does anyone have any additions to that content or any comments about it?
No, all looks good.
There's
All right. Yep.
one thing I was wondering if we could put in. I've had a lot of questions about the change in the garbage pickup, about if locals can deliver their own to the landfill. I think that should be put in there that they're still able to. That's the most questions I've had about the whole landfill change.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Thank you, Councillor Westgate. Councillor Morris?
I also had phone calls on the change of the garbage. People didn't want the dumpsters, like the wheelies. I pointed out the number that was on the pamphlet that was sent out and asked them to call that number and explain their situation, and they wouldn't get them.
That's a perfect response. Thank you.
Yeah.
Councillor Westgate.
I would advise them to take them for a while because they'll probably end up using them after.
Yeah, it's easier to take them at the beginning than to try to get them delivered later on, but.
Some people are dead set against it. So until they need it, there's no way they're going to take it.
That's true.
So we can absolutely include that update, Councillor Westgate, that content in the newsletter. And Councillor Morris, yes, thank you for directing them that way. We do continue to get inquiries like that at the office as well. And we direct them to the BRA, but we also take their information and forward it ourselves just to make sure that it gets there. The BRA has a great tracking system and will be making sure bins do not get delivered to those who have specifically requested them. People can opt in though at any time, should they wish to participate in the future or should the property change hands.
That's good to know as well. Okay, any other additions to that? Seeing none, then we will need a motion to receive and file that information report. Moved by Councillor Mitchell, seconded by Councillor Morris, all in favor. That's carried. Thank you. We have time to go to the cash flow forecast. Again, this is a report for council's information. How does council want to deal with that report? Trevor, did you want to speak to that?
I believe Councillor Morris has a question.
Okay.
It's kind of tight to read, but I did notice that Watford Fire Station salaries were higher than Warwick. Is that because we expect more calls or?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? So we need a motion to receive and file that report then. Moved by Councillor White, seconded by Councillor Westgate. All in favor? And that's carried. We have 5 more minutes. Do we have time for updated rural severance? I think we might be pushing our luck on that one. Can we skip over that and go to award the guardrail tender?
What number is that, Amanda? Or,
E,
That is item E.
okay,
So
13E.
13E, PW 0820.
got it.
I think we'll just skip over the other one. I think we may need more than 5 minutes to discuss that. Councillor White.
I'll move that to follow the recommendation that we
All
award
right.
those to Van Driel Excavating.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Morris, you want to second that?
Yes, I do.
Any questions on that report? Seeing none, all in favor?
Okay.
That's carried. Thank you. We have time. We can do the committee minutes. So we'll go to the Parks and Recreation Committee meeting. Chair White, did you want to mention anything from that meeting?
Just that we're kind of monitoring the situation with COVID on that. Things have been adjusted accordingly with programming and summer programs. And we're planning for the fall to see what happens there. But again, it's kind of on a monitoring situation, and it's going to be a different year this year. So, yeah.
Okay. And I heard Teresa that it was an excellent report given to that committee.
It was an excellent report as well. Yes.
Just thought I'd mention that, and I see Councillor Morris is nodding his head as well. So always good to have you on board, and you got past your first meeting, even if it was on Zoom. So, so we need a motion to receive and file those minutes. Moved by Councillor Westgate, seconded by Councillor Mitchell. Amanda, did you want to speak to anything?
Mayor Rumbas, it looks like Councillor Westgate has a comment. Just want to point
I
that
just
out.
had one question. On the blue line, I thought we had agreed to pass or move that 2 years ago and it never got done. What happened there? Minor hockey wanted that moved 2 years ago.
Todd, that's all yours.
I believe you said it best when you said it was
It did not
just
happen.
did not get done. So
Yeah, it did not get done. So it is done now, I believe, Teresa. I think it's not done. They're working on it over the summer. It will be done for the fall. So
as a result of this committee meeting, Councillor White, through you, our Parks and Recreation Manager is following up with both the requester, the member of our Parks and Rec Committee, John Van Leeshout, as well as our associations on the distance of the move, the rationale, et cetera, and we'll be putting in a work plan to address it. It will not go another season without being addressed.
okay, perfect. Councillor Westgate.
It doesn't have to go exactly to the inch to there, but it should be moved back. Every other arena has done it.
It's good to have it consistent throughout the arenas for sure. It's very difficult when you have a discrepancy there.
Yeah. And
Okay.
so our meeting was just last week, so we are conducting follow-up, and this will not go unanswered for another season.
Perfect. All right, so Councillor Westgate, are you okay with moving those minutes to be received and filed? All right, and Councillor Mitchell seconded that, so all in favor. That's carried. So we are going to go back up on the agenda to our delegations. We welcome Frank. Calipari, Dino is not able to be here today with us. He had an emergency elsewhere, but Frank, I'm going to turn the meeting over to you. Just a reminder that we do have is it 10-minute, Amanda?
10-minute, a total of 15 minutes, so 10-minute for presentation with 5 minutes for questions is our typical delegation timeline.
Perfect. Thank you. So Frank, welcome to the Zoom meeting.
Yes, hi. How's
Hi.
everybody doing? I guess the first thing I would like is comments from everybody that has seen the plan, and then I can just answer them. I think that'd be the easiest than me trying to go through it, I guess.
Okay.
That makes
And
sense.
Council, you've had an opportunity to see the different drawings for the suggested new town hall. So questions, comments about those drawings? Councillor Morris.
Yeah, Frank, on the very first line, it shows 4 units. Are those not including the 2 anchor spots?
So that's in between.
Okay.
Yep.
And the other thing is, what is the purpose of having the windows, I guess, on the one side that's going to be just against the Bank of Montreal, or am I reading this wrong?
Well, possibly down the road there won't be that building there, or
okay.
a smaller building, or because it is sitting on the lot line, maybe the next developer, whoever, pushes the building over and leaves some space.
Okay.
And then, do you guys have a copy of the floor plan? No.
We just have the outside.
Okay.
The outside.
That'll be addressed once that is done, I guess, once we see that.
I have no further questions.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Westgate.
I think the windows are a good idea. Our employees will really enjoy the windows
Mhm.
when you can. see
Natural light is
outside.
important.
And all we have is the elevations here, right? Like
I'm not sure what was provided.
all I've seen is the
So-
elevation.
Okay.
There's no floor plans or anything.
Okay.
The only thing that I was wondering about is on the front elevation of the town office.
Yep.
Our symbol, I would like to see it go above the doors on that open spot.
Yep, that shouldn't be an issue, and maybe something else can go over that decorative detail, like a even an update board or something like that, or I'm not sure if there's maybe some sort of other logos or.
Yeah, a sign or something like that,
Yeah.
or even more windows in there.
Yep. Yep.
And above the brick, that's a stucco, is it?
Yeah. It's stucco up into the parapet, over the in the
Over
parapet.
the windows to the parapet.
Yeah. With probably a precast band above the brick. And then there'll be a sill below the windows that will be like a decorative sill. Probably like a chamfered edge or something, smooth sill. Try to keep that consistent around the whole building. If you look at the south elevation, the bottom of the municipal building, the bottom drawing, that's the walkway between the, I guess I'll call it the retail building and the municipal building, and that's where all the windows is, and that's a 4-meter space, so there's 12 feet there, or more than 12 feet, I guess. So it's not going to be closed in.
I think it looks really cool, and I agree with Councillor Westgate about moving the symbol to above the door. We have had comment from the community. We have the electronic sign in Bluebird Park. It's currently not operating right now. I believe there was something that happened to the wiring. Would it be possible to have that sign moved to where that brick is, or what does council think of that idea? Councillor Morris?
Well, I think it should be moved out of there anyway. I think it's right in front of the tower, clock tower. It kind of takes
Yeah.
away from that.
A lot of people aren't happy with where it got
No, I
positioned.
think it should be moved. That's a perfect spot. They can program it right from the office. I think it's a great fix, and I agree with Jerry on moving that thing. The only thing, Frank, is when can we start digging?
Amanda,
So Frank's site plan for this entire development, beyond just our building, the full commercial development is in review. It is at a second stage of review, but we are still working on the process. So when we've completed that, we'll enter into an agreement with the Watford Investment Group, and it will proceed. So we're moving through that process as quickly as possible.
That's fantastic news. That's great.
But it's not something we can put a timeline on or anything, like an expected ETA.
those are fun
Good
questions.
Not to put
Frank's like,
anybody
keep
on the
going,
spot.
council.
Councillor
It'll be a
Mitchell,
busy
great
winter.
question.
Yeah.
And I'm hesitant to put a timeline on it. We are working on it. I'd love to see it sooner rather than later. In an ideal world, we'd have an agreement for our June meeting for council's consideration. I think that's feasible, but it's quite tight. So
Okay.
I just want to also just so while we can get everything in the background yet, my understanding, although the situation may change definitely day by day, is that new permits for commercial builds are not issued at this time under provincial order. So the actual process of obtaining permits to break ground will depend on provincial order and their limitations they have in place, but that does not mean that we can't have everything ready in the sidelines.
If
must-
things can,
I must say that the COVID has not slowed us down on the preliminary works on this project. So
that's
we're
good to hear.
continuing, and staff is continuing, and our designers are continuing, and we've all been working through it.
Jerry.
Councillor Westgate.
This has really nothing to do with this building, but the fence up there, Frank, could you get some weights or something put on the one side so it does not blow over all the time?
We've asked them to pick up the fence because it's damaged from when they actually delivered it and put it up for the demolition crew. But they have not, and my guys have been there, I don't know how many times picking it back up, but we'll do our best to secure it, maybe even build some sort of frame with lumber or something until they can pick it up, or we may just take a section down. But you can't really take one section down without the rest falling over, really. So we will get a better status on when they're going to pick that up very shortly, because I'm done getting the phone calls picking that thing up, and my guys don't really want to go there and pick it up anymore. So yeah.
If you put a V in it, a couple V's in it, if you have a couple more,
Yeah.
put them back in onto the property, it'll keep it from falling down.
Yeah. It's just damage rate. It's anyway. We'll figure it out in the next week.
Can maybe use council's suggestion as an incentive to have them get that
Yes.
out there then. Councillor White, did you have a comment?
No,
No.
no.
Okay. But overall, council's happy with the look of the building. I just want to make sure that there's no, I think it looks great. I was really happy when I saw it. It's going to look beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Exciting. Any other comments or questions? I don't see any. Do we need a motion to receive that or anything, Amanda?
That's a good question. I don't think so. I think we'll take that feedback and proceed through the site plan process, understanding council consensus on moving forward with the design as presented with some minor detail changes as we've discussed.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Frank, for coming to the meeting.
You're welcome.
And
Frank.
Seen
any
you
other
guys in a long
questions?
time.
I know, it's great to see you.
Great to see you guys.
Yeah, stay healthy and we will see you soon. And the houses
Thank
are
you,
looking
Frank.
great, by the way, Frank.
Do you want a
Yeah.
status on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
a quick one, sure.
I'll be quick. So the last 2 are going up. We've closed maybe 6 in the last 4 weeks, or by next week, we'll have 6 probably in the last 4 weeks. And then we have 2 left. And we're looking to have that site fully completed and sodded. I would say mid-August. Fence. We're working around some grading issues. Actually, I think the sod guys are coming tomorrow to start on the backs of the ones backing onto Confederation. So everybody's super happy there. Everyone's enjoying the area. The guys from Manitoba, obviously they show up and it's locked down, but they're really enjoying the area. They tour around the town and as much as they can, right? So yeah, it's been good feedback.
Councillor Westgate.
How many are occupied now? 3?
No, I think there's okay, so
What?
we have lot 65, so there's 2 people there. 266, 67, 72, 73. So we have 5 or 6, and then we have 2 closing next week. So that'd be 8, and then there's another one closing in June, and then the last 2 in July. So there's 6 done right now.
Are they all sold now, Frank?
Yeah, everything's been sold for about 2 months.
That's what I
3
thought, yeah.
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 We had some issues getting paperwork back for the purchase agreement of the one, but we use couriers for that, and they're from Toronto, so we've worked around that stuff. And yep,
That's
selections
fantastic.
have been tough for the customers, obviously, but things are loosening up a little now with showrooms but the trades and suppliers have been very good. Home Hardware has been great. Watford Roof Truss. So yeah.
That's great. And the houses look amazing.
Don't they? Yeah.
Really neat. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one on, there's so many different designs that I've
Yeah.
just been, wow, that's really cool how they
The
utilize
colors.
that space. So
Yeah.
the colors look great.
And we're doing patio
You
stone
didn't get your red
drive.
one in there.
What's that?
You didn't get your red one in there.
No, I didn't. I had my chance, but we sold it too early.
I think
so,
it looks really uniform. It looks great.
yeah. So we're doing patio stone driveways in there as well. So it'll look a little bit nicer with interlock than just asphalt. Yeah.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Great. All right, we will say goodbye then, Frank, for now,
Okay.
and we will see you soon.
See you later. Thanks.
And you're right in on
Thank
time.
you.
Perfect timing.
There we go. Bye.
All right, have a good night.
You too.
So council, we have Brian Lenny from Enbridge with us tonight. Hi, Brian, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. So I'm going to turn things over to you, Brian, to let you update council on the natural gas expansion proposal for Warwick Village.
Thank you, Mayor. And so joining me tonight is James Whitaker, our Manager of Regional Construction. He's on the line as well. I believe Daryl Arnold is actually trying to get in the meeting. He is not able to get in. So it's okay. If not, James and I can certainly answer the questions. I just got a text saying he's trying to get in, but that's okay. We can proceed, I guess. I first want to say thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I think it goes without saying that we're very grateful for the continued support and advocacy of council and staff for the proposed natural gas community expansion project in Warwick Village. I wanted to provide an update tonight on what the project application status is, and I also provide a brief verbal overview of the project area. I will say my remarks will be pretty brief. The update's relatively brief. So in terms of the project application, I'm pleased to report that the project application for Warwick Village is complete and will be filed with the Ontario Energy Board shortly. The deadline for all applications to be submitted as part of the natural gas expansion program is June the 3rd. From there, the OEB will review the list of projects. Projects will then be sent to the Ministry of Energy for final review. It is our understanding that projects may be announced by the Ministry of Energy in the fall of this year. Deadlines could change due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but no indication has been given that they will at this time. Certainly will advise if they are. I wanted to now just kind of briefly talk about the project area. So a map of the project area will become public once the application is filed in a few weeks. As a result, I'll provide a verbal overview of the project area right now. So the project will include Egremont Road from Forest Road to Quaker Road, all of Warwick Village, specifically London Line from Digby, Egremont to the 402, Warwick Village Road from just north of Egremont to the 402, William Street, Alma Street, Kelly Street, George Street, Guy Street, Digby Street, Mureddin Street, Elizabeth Street. So that's the basics of the project. I do apologize that the map's not available, but we were advised just until it becomes a full public document to not share it in advance. So that's the update as it stands now. I think we're in good position to get everything filed, and now we just essentially have to wait the OEB and Ministry of Energy process. So I will stop there. Happy to take any questions. James as well on the line. Happy to take any questions as well.
Councillor Westgate, do you have a question?
Did you say it was going along Egremont Road right to the Forest Road?
Yeah,
that's yeah. So what I had shown on the maps, and apologies. I mean, if I did have it wrong that way, but I had it from Egremont Road from Forest Road to Quaker Road.
Forest Road to Quaker.
So now it is going by where they made the announcement, and that's what
Yes.
we had asked for. And
Oh yes, yeah. Sorry, yeah. I can confirm that. Yeah, yes, it is going by that. Yes.
People on the weekend that were going to get up a petition to go out that far, so they'd be really happy that it's that far.
Yeah.
There's a lot of customers there that they can get.
Yeah, and the goal is to connect as many folks as possible, right? So the decisions were made specifically to detach as many as possible.
Councillor Morris.
Yeah, Brian, did you say anything about First School Road going to the couple houses there and the old school where it is fifth wheel?
I don't have. Sorry, what was the road's name?
First School Road.
If I did miss any streets in kind of the Warwick Village core, you should consider them part of this. But I'll look into.
Warwick Village.
Okay, I'll look into that one specifically for
Okay.
school.
Yeah, it'll be close.
It'd be close for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's James here. Just to, I think one of the things we've experienced in community expansion is, we may not get to a particular street, but, we do future expansions similar to what we do today, main extensions to new customers. So just, I know First School Road runs right off Egremont.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
if it's not part of the scope of the project, we can always look at that, if customers are interested, and
Okay.
we can determine, if there's enough interest there if they are not part of the scope.
Thank you.
I think there are 2 or 3 houses just off of Egremont there that would probably be interested. Is that what you were thinking, Councillor
Yes.
Morris? Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Is there anything that you think that council can do to forward this application in any way?
I think what's going to happen now is it's going to go into a regulatory process where they're going to take what I'd say is a quantitative analysis of all different aspects of the projects, number of customers, the economics. The OEB really takes a deep technical look at it. We feel that, I think as we've expressed in various times is that this project is one of our top projects. We feel the economics hit higher perhaps than other projects, and we've presented it as such. We will be presenting it as such to the OEB. I will caution, and we've said this to all municipalities, so I'm not speaking out of turn, is that ultimately this is a political decision, and that the OEB will forward that list of projects to the Minister of Energy's office, and then that decision rests with the Ministry of Energy. So I don't want to advise you one way or another about what to do, but I will say that you know, we certainly, from our perspective, are putting our best foot forward to get this project across the goal line. But at the end of the day, the decision rests with the Ministry of Energy.
Just a reminder to council that Councillor Westgate and I did have a delegation with the Ministry of Energy about this project during Good Roads in February, I believe it was. And we had good conversation. It went quite well. So, and we know that we have our local MPP's support because he did choose our municipality to do the announcement. Yep. So, any other questions or comments? So do you need anything from council as far as approving this, or it's not really anything to receive or file? So
we already have the letter of support, which is what was required. So the next step is really the OEB takes that application and starts a deep review. There may be at some point the OEB comes back for additional information. We would certainly reach out to Amanda for that. We feel we filed everything. We know this project's been on the books for a while, but you never know. They could come back with additional questions, and we'll advise certainly immediately if they do.
Perfect. Well, I know it's been probably 10 to 20 years that council has been working on this, and it's exciting to see that it's coming hopefully to fruition. I know there'll be a lot of people out in Warwick Village that are very happy to see this. So.
Fingers crossed.
Thank you. Yes, for sure. Thank you guys so much for attending our Zoom meeting. It makes it easier. You don't have to drive to our community hall. Hopefully the next time we meet, we'll be meeting at the new hall.
Yes, for sure, with good news, hopefully.
Yes, too. Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Any other questions for Brian or James before we let them go? Seeing none. Thank you again, guys, for attending, and we'll carry on with the meeting. So
thank you. I just got booted out, so I apologize. Hi, thank you.
No problem. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
You too.
So council, we're going to go back down to 13D, which was the updated rule severance policy for consideration. And Philip is here. Philip, would you like to speak to that report?
Yes. So from last council, there's two questions that were raised. The first one was, can the policy of prohibiting the construction of a new dwelling, the retained farm parcel, be altered or varied if there's a change of ownership on the property? And the second question that popped up was, can the Committee of Adjustment consider dwellings less than 20 years old in cases where an older residence has been placed with newer dwelling? And then the answer for the first one is no. You can't vary the policy that prohibits a new dwelling on the retained farm property. Under the new provincial policy statement, which just became effective May 1st, I believe, May of this year, it states that in section 2.3.4.1 that, okay, lot creation in a prime agricultural areas is discouraged and may only be permitted for resident surplus to a farm dwelling as a result of a farm consolidation, provided that the new lot is limited to a minimum size needed to accommodate use, which we have in our regulations. And the planning authority ensures that new residential dwellings prohibited on the remnant parcel of land created by the severance. And they go on to say the approach used to ensure that no residential dwellings are permitted on the remnant parcel may be recommended by the province or based on municipal approaches. So the approach we are proposing is that they rezone the remaining farmland to a non-residential zone. The province hasn't given any direction as to how they would want us, the municipalities, to prohibit any new residential development. So that's why we're going to the non-residential agricultural zone. So even as the provincial policies are at the moment, even if you change ownership on the farmland, you can't get a new residence. And then the second question dealt with, we have the policy in there that states the committee, so for rule severance to be surplus, it has to be 20 years or older. There was a policy we're adding in that if there's evidence to say that this area was used as a residence for 20 plus years, the Committee of Adjustment may consider a house younger than 20 years. So it gives them the option to do it, but you'd need to have some evidence that shows, yes, it was used as a residence for 20 plus years. Something happened to it. Let's say it was an older residence, got burned down, got replaced. They can consider it. So it'd be on a case by case basis at that point.
Okay, so the last time we had a report, staff was looking for council direction, I believe. Does council have any other questions for Philip? Councillor Morris.
Philip, I want to thank you for all your work you've done on this and all the stuff we put up with at the open houses. At this time, Jackie, I'll propose a motion to accept it and move forward.
Okay. Does staff need anything more specific than that?
No, I don't think so. Just to clarify, Councillor Morris, that was to accept the draft policy as presented by our planner, Philip, and to move forward with the next steps in his report dated at the last council meeting, April 20th, which I believe include another public meeting.
Yes, we decided not to have a virtual meeting, but have a public.
Okay, so we will have to wait until we have authorization from the province in order to do that, but that's good. Councillor White, you had your hand up for a second.
Oh, I was just going to second the motion.
Okay, perfect. Any other questions or comments about that? Seeing none, all in favor? That's carried. Thank you again, Philip, for that. I guess that didn't take as long as I thought it would. So we're going to go down to new business, which is, I believe, just a notice to council that we do have the Senior of the Year award coming up. We will be nominating people in closed session for that award, but just it was great for Amanda to put that on the agenda just as a reminder to us that we should be thinking of nominees for the next council meeting, I believe.
Correct.
Okay, and you didn't need a motion regarding that? All right.
No, I will include it on our in-camera agenda for our June 11th meeting for discussion.
Okay, thank you. So the next thing is that we will be moving into a closed meeting session. Just a reminder to the public that we will be coming out of the closed meeting session following the in-camera portion of this meeting. However, we will not be going on to YouTube to do that because it's just going to essentially be to adjourn the meeting. Correct, Amanda?
Correct.
Okay. So this will be the end of the public session once we have a motion to move in camera for the reasons listed on the agenda. So moved by Councillor Morris, seconded by Councillor Westgate. All in favor? That's carried. So we'll give Amanda a second or two to end the live transmission.